All right, we're gonna go over how to basically sprue up your ring and what that's about. Basically right here, this is a flask, this is investment, and this is wax. And inside of here is your ring. And when we put this inside of a kiln, like this, all the wax is gonna melt out, and that's why it's called the lost wax process. The wax gets melted. So, with that being said, you can see how this thing fits on here like this. So we're going to kind of back up a step. This red thing here is called a sprue. And this thing you just shove in here like this. And then what you can do is, you have the one ring that's like not finished. Okay. Then if you have a ring that has really no designs in this particular area, then you simply could have one big sprue like this. And so now your ring has a sprue. And what you want to keep in mind with this is that you cannot ask the ring you can't ask the metal in here to go against gravity. So imagine we put this in a centrifugal casting machine. This thing is spinning around really, really, really fast, and the metal is going to be shot in here. And it's with gravity, it's just going to shoot in there, and that's how your ring's being made. However, let's say, for example, I decided that I had some nice designs on my ring, and I was going to sprue it up like this. So imagine I'm pouring metal into here. Is this ring going to work? No, it's going to fail because you're asking the metal to flow up against gravity. So just imagine the metal flowing in here. You want it to make sure that you do it in a way that it doesn't have to fight gravity. So on this ring right here, we have some designs all around the outside. So we really can't just do a sprue there that easily. So in that case, what you're going to want to do is get some thinner wax, or in this, if we're out of it, you can it's pretty soft. You can roll it. You can roll it with your fingers and make it pliable. But what we're going to want to do is, in this case, is we're going to make a little tripod. We're going to stick one guy here, one guy there, and then one guy here to form a tripod. Keep in mind that with the length of the sprue, that we have to come up with this metal. So, for example, this right here, we have to come up with this much metal. So that's a lot of silver, but so make your sprue, make your tripod be as short as possible so that we don't have to come up with so much metal. So try and make the main sprue be very short, and your tripod be short. But essentially, you're just now. Why do 3? Well, if you did 1, it might not go around. Could you do 4? You could, but my experience is that if you do 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there, that it's enough to get it. Now, in a ring like this is a much different ring. We've got artwork all along here. We wouldn't want to have a sprue go here because it'd be hard to reproduce that artwork. It looks like on the underside here, it's relatively smooth. So in this case, if I was going to do this one, you might have basically a sprue going right around here, another sprue going to the head, and then maybe a sprue going like to the side of the artwork, maybe on both sides. But the more sprues you have, the higher chances of your ring turning out perfect. But I wouldn't want to have a sprue on this nice artwork because it'd be hard to reproduce it. But then again, I could, because I could just get a hacksaw to probably reproduce those marks pretty easily. But that's what you want to think about, though. Don't have your ring so that the metal has to go against gravity, because it will fail. You will not have your ring turn out. And then also the last thing is, when your ring is all sprued up and good, I want you to take off the sprue out of here and I want you to weigh this, and I want you to write down how many grams it is, or yeah, grams. And then there's an online calculator that'll tell us how much metal we need to melt. So hope that helps. And the next part of the video, we'll be going over doing the investment. For our investing station, what you want to do with your, this looks really good. Looks like it's going to flow great. So you want to take this, turn on the scale, put it on grams, weigh this, and whatever it is, write that down. That'll let us know how much metal to use later. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make sure this is in nice and secure. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is you're going to get a nice clean pail that's empty. You're going to put it on the scale. Turn on the scale. It should say 0 with the pail. Then you're going to go into our investment. This is a nice called Satin Cast, and you're going to basically get this. You don't want to make a lot of dust clouds and breathe this in, so pour it carefully. But you want to get 1 pound of investment, and that's written right here. We weigh the investment. We measure our water, 172 milliliters of water, and we have a little mark right here, 172. And now I can maybe put my scale away so it doesn't get. So you want to really work clean here. Nothing makes me more upset than just seeing a mess everywhere. So pour this in, and now according to the directions, it says we need to mix it for 3 to 3.5 minutes. So, all right, so we've been mixing here. I would describe this as a milkshake consistency. You won't have any lumps. Now the next step, you don't have to do, but you know, some jewelers might say it's not necessary, but I just found to ensure we don't have bubbles on here that you might want to use, you might want to make sure that your design has the investment, and it just kind of makes sure that air bubbles, we don't want air bubbles to attach us. And the whole reason we're gonna be doing this is we're trying to get the air bubbles not in here. So you can skip that step, but I think it's a good idea. So we got this like this, and what you want to do now. Okay, here's our investment, and there are some instructions here. This instruction says vacuum 30 seconds after boil. Right there, so it's really important to do that. So go ahead and put your container. Okay, we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna move this to be on the investing. Turn it on. And so it says 30 seconds after boil. So as soon as the first, you see the bubbles right there? So about 20 more seconds or so. As soon as you see the first boil, that first bubble, they call that boiling. Okay, so that's good enough. Go to vacuum release. And then that's it. Without making a mess, is to pour this kind of at a 45-degree angle. So don't have it land on your ring. Have it, you know, hit the side of the flask, and then it's just gonna flow around your ring. And can you grab, Riley, that red sleeve? Yeah. So we're gonna fill it all the way up here, like that. And now when we start vacuuming this, it's gonna rise up, and we don't want to make a mess. So we have this sleeve here to go over. This is going to make it to where as it rises, it'll be contained. So this is perfect. So now we're going to go over here. We're going to turn the machine on and then move this this thing over. That's the pointer on investment. You can see right here, this is the amount of vacuum that's happening, and we should be able to get up to 25. Now right now, if you can zoom in here, if you see any bubbles at all, we're going to call that boiling. And the directions say to vacuum 20 seconds after boil. So it's definitely bubbling now. About 10 more seconds. You can see it's rising up. Okay, so we're almost there. It's rising up a lot, and stop right there. So to stop that, what I did was I moved this from here to there. So before it made a big mess, I went there to there, and then after this here, if needed, we can top it off with a little. We really want it to be flush. More on that later. So nice and flush. That's going to go in your locker. And then after it's in your locker, the directions say let flush it for 2 hours. So after 2 hours or more, you're going to carve your initials in here, rip off the bottom plastic piece, and then we're going to put it in our burnout kiln. All right.